What's up everyone, Thorgon here, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick tip on the best thing you can be doing right now to prepare for the Dark and Darker wipe on Monday. Before we get into that though, for those of you who aren't aware, Dark and Darker is going to be having its first wipe of early access on Monday. What this means is that all character levels, items, gold, and skills will be reset. But for this wipe, your character names will not be reset, so those of you with highly desirable common names will continue to be able to flex on randoms who have to have the numbers of shame at the end of their name. To reiterate, everything in your stash will be gone, everything in your inventory will be gone, and all your characters will be reset to level 1. So now is the time to get out and use all that gear you've been scared to lose. Speaking of being scared to lose your stuff, we're brought to what you can do now to get a head start on the next wipe despite being reset to nothing, and that is limit testing. Because even though you lose everything you've earned in-game at the wipe, you keep everything you've earned outside of the game, which includes your knowledge and experience with the game. The idea of limit testing is simple. It means to push yourself and see what you're actually capable of. And in the context of Dark and Darker, this means pushing into content or situations that you've otherwise been afraid of or lacked knowledge of. In my case, I had never learned how to do bosses or was afraid to try to do solo Inferno runs on Wizard. So I've been pushing to learn how to do those things, and it was not easy. It's taken several tries and lots of trial and error to get better at these things, especially bosses. Because it's one thing to watch a guide, but a whole other thing to have to put into action the things and mechanics you've learned about the bosses. It was difficult, and we lost a couple gear sets, but it doesn't matter now. We lose it anyways on Monday. And the feeling of beating a boss for the first time was incredible. It was super hype, and it boosted our confidence. Once we get a few more clears under our belt, we may have gained the confidence to try it early next wipe rather than avoiding it altogether. What this means is that we'll be in a position to gain better gear from boss drops early on. For my other example, I've been trying to farm hell solo as a wizard with gray gear. I'm learning what mobs I can and can't deal with and what each room is and how to approach it. Some mobs I have to avoid altogether due to the time and resource commitment to kill, if I even can kill them. Some mobs are much easier to deal with than I expected and can be a good source of higher level loot, such as wraiths, champions, and demon swordsmen. I'm also learning which rooms I'm able to clear and which rooms I have to avoid or escape as soon as possible if I start there. What this all means is that next wipe I'll immediately be able to do harder content for better loot, rocketing me to kits equal to or better than what I've had on average this previous wipe. And that's an exciting idea, being able to farm my own good gear to sell or use rather than hoping to outplay much more geared opponents or save up from tons of low yield treasure runs to afford good gear. And besides the gear, it makes me a better, more consistent player overall. Now, depending on where you are in the game, your limits could be all over the spectrum. Maybe you're scared to do high roller due to the harder PvE and more competitive PvP. Well, now is the time to do it without fear. Learn to clear those harder rooms quicker. Learn the limits of what damage you can do and take against better geared players. Maybe you're struggling to solo goblin caves because the PvE keeps kicking your butt. Now is the time to take more risks learning how to deal with those enemies. Try to kite in and out nearer to the enemy to get swings in faster, or try to dodge them up close so that you can get even more hits in between swings. Try the cave troll or centipede for the first time. The point is, if there's something you've been too scared to try, now is the time to do it, so that when the wipe happens on Monday, you're ready to do harder things for better rewards than you were able to do now. Well, that's it for this tip. Hopefully it's inspired you to get out there and try something that you've been afraid to do up until now. Let me know what you plan to push yourself to do in the comments down below, or if you have any questions about how to do certain content, drop those down below as well. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and good luck out there.